Right, the Vikings also 7-2. How long can the defense carry the load for an offense that can't get things going?
You can't ask the defensive guy this. Defense wins championships. They can continue to carry them. Offense just do enough. And the truth of the matter is, they're so explosive. They're like 2 or 3 Justin Jefferson plays away from wrapping up a game. What I would love to see them do is get some of the other guys. Hawkinson's back. Jordan Addison is a really good receiver. Use some of these other guys more and not just force the ball to JJ.
I know that it's not like you can go out and find an upgrade for Sam Darnold, but let's be realistic. Every time he throws, and it looks like he's confident, oh, it's an interception, or a guy's open. How many times do we see Jordan Addison flailing his arms as the ball sails over his head? I mean, we got to call it what it is. They need a better quarterback, and they're not going to have J.J. McCarthy until next year, and the only alternative they have to Sam Darnold right now as a practical matter is Nick Mullins.
Okay. Let's calm down here, okay? Sam Darnold has not been the problem for the Minnesota Vikings right now, okay? Let's not act like he's just been this disaster. When they were winning, that he was being praised and it was, oh my God, his whole career has just been turned around. This is amazing. And now you have like a rough game and everyone's just like, oh, he's the problem. He's awful. This is an issue. And it's like, can we, stay kind of balanced here with all of this? Can Sam Darnold be better? For sure. Is he why they lost to the Lions? No. Is he why they, that they've lost their other game? No. I mean, it's just I don't really understand. Like when they lost to the Rams, it wasn't like Sam Darnold not good enough. He wasn't the fundamental problem for why they lost. So also this idea that the defense has to keep carrying them because the offense is such a liability of some sort is just that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. If you believe Kevin O'Connell to be a great offensive head coach, which I believe he is, any of these lulls, any of these issues, Kevin O'Connell's going to take and say, okay, what was working before? What is not working now? What changes did we make? Did I make a certain change? Am I asking too much from Sam Darnold? Did I overemphasize something? Did I de-emphasize something? It's all troubleshooting. It's problem solving. It's trying to figure out how can we return to this more explosive offense? Or is it also, hey, everything's fine. These games just happen. This is just how the NFL season unfolds. We don't got to panic. Everything's all good. It's okay. Quarterbacks throwing interceptions. Jared Goff threw 1 million interceptions. Is it that Jared Goff is now holding back this team for the Lions? No, of course not. Is Sam Darnold a top 3 quarterback in the NFL? No, he is not. But guess what? There's only 3 teams that have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. That's how it works. So I kind of resent this aspect of this conversation, or if like the Vikings are in this like legitimate, serious, like kind of sound the alarm moment. And I just don't see it that way. I really, really don't. Sam Darnold has stepped up and has made some really unbelievable plays, some unbelievable throws, his mobility, his decision making. Again, has he been flawless? Of course not. Of course not. But please tell me the quarterback that you see who has been flawless. Please name him. I'd love to meet him, man. I'd love to meet him. So I just don't think we have to come in too hard on the Minnesota Vikings. They're in this great place. They're 7-2. It is amazing to me to see so many people abandon the Minnesota Vikings ship right now. They're 7-2. They've had so many great games, significantly more great games than bad games. And even in a loss, that's the thing. It's not just a record. It's not to say, well, they've had 7 great games and 2 bad ones. I don't see it that way at all. Because you can win a game, play bad, and you can lose a game and play great. And so they've had significantly more great games than bad games. You have other teams that maybe have the same record or a better record, and they have less great games and more bad games. So if you look at a lot of the top 10 teams right now, a lot of lists going around, the Minnesota Vikings are missing from the vast majority of those lists right now. Like, people do not believe in the Minnesota Vikings. And I get it, especially coming off of the last game. Like, I understand it conceptually, but it is quite remarkable how much we really do live in the immediacy of this moment, of just this recency bias. I mean, Colin Cowherd, for instance, had them like top 3 in the beginning of the season, and now they're not even top 10. And it's like, what has fundamentally changed? If anything, they should be getting better. And I know there's a couple key injuries. I get that as well. I do. That can always change or derail a season. But I think this team has too great of weapons, is too well coached, and any of their non-elite pieces, their non-top 5, top 10 pieces, whatever it may be, are still good enough. The floor is still good enough. This isn't a situation where you have this great team and you have a Nick Mullins just kind of like trying to get by, a Fitzpatrick, or, you know, any of those other type of situations. A Cooper Rush who's like, I can hold this together for a few weeks, but like, I can't do much more than that. That's not the situation that the Minnesota Vikings are in. So I think they're going to be able to reintegrate this, get this team to be connected again, especially offensively. And I think they will right this ship, even though I don't even think that this ship is necessarily off course, quite frankly. I just think that this is the way, this is the ebbs and flows of an NFL season. And I think there's way too much panic about this. Way too much kind of like, oh, okay, we need to consider moving on from Sam Darnold. Like if Sam Darnold didn't have his history looming over him, his resume, and we just saw this quarterback in isolation, you would not be watching these games and say, oh man, we need to change quarterbacks right now. You would not say that. After seeing the first 9 games, nobody would be having an honest discussion about saying, no, do we change quarterbacks? You wouldn't have that discussion. You would say, hey, he's been playing great. They've been winning games. Yeah, a couple rough games, but yeah, that's the season. So I get people are using the New York Jets and Panthers and whatever against him, but it just seems to be a little too alarmist for me. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Vikings? Do you think their defense needs to continue to carry them to, to be a legit contender? Do you think Sam Darnold is a true problem for them? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.